Here's your morning call for Wednesday. Google all set to launch a new version of its Nexus 7 tablet around July, two sources telling Reuters. It hopes to ship as many as 8 million of the 7-inch tablets in the second half of the year, ramping up competition with the Kindle Fire and iPad mini. If the Nexus tablets are a hit, it would mean more exposure for Google's ads. The company gets almost all of its revenue from online advertising. Chipmaker Qualcomm also relying on the success of Nexus 7. Google opted to ditch NVIDIA in favor of Qualcomm in this version of the tablet. The new gadget may cost $199, the same as the first generation rolled out last June. That's pricier than the Kindle Fire, but way cheaper than even the cheapest iPad mini. Moving on to markets, U.S. stock futures pointing to a higher open today. A couple of data points due out, including the ISM survey on the services sector and ADP's read on employment. A Reuters poll suggests a slight rise in hiring for March. Big oil on our radar this morning, starting with BP. Its wind power business in the U.S. is up for sale in a deal that could bring in over $1.5 billion. The move will add to the $38 billion of assets that BP has been forced to sell to pay for the fallout from the Gulf oil spill. It also represents a further retreat for big oil companies from renewable energy. And Chevron's CEO may not be a happy camper today. John Watson's annual bonus will be cut by 13% to $3.5 million. Chevron says the cuts come after a series of accidents last year, including a fatal fire on a rig in Nigeria, all under Watson's watch. Hungry for earnings? We've got ConAgra and Monsanto due before the open. For ConAgra, this will be the first earnings report since it sealed a $5 billion deal to buy Ralcorp. The maker of Chef Boyardee is now the top producer of branded foods in the U.S. The market will be keen to hear about its strategy surrounding private labels, as well as its plan to exit the grain milling business. Grains is what Monsanto's all about, and we'll see how well their drought-resistant seeds have been selling. The stock hasn't had any trouble blooming. It's up 12% so far this year. Dominion Diamond, previously known as Harry Winston Diamond, reports results today. Wall Street will want to know acquisition plans for BHP's Akati diamond mine. The company also recently completed the sale of luxury brand Harry Winston to the Swatch Group, transitioning to a pure diamond mining business. You may want to tweet this next story, the SEC ruling that key posts on Facebook and Twitter by companies to investors are just as good as news releases or corporate websites. The ruling comes after Netflix CEO Reed Hastings boasted about his company's viewing stats on Twitter, sending shares higher. So does the SEC's blessing really mean much? Well, according to a survey by the Conference Board, 14% of companies communicate with shareholders via social media, but over 3/4 of them use it to interact with customers. One active user, Goldman Sachs. They tweeted back, thanks to the SEC after the ruling. That's it for your Wednesday morning call. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Reuters Insider and get more great videos at Reuters.com/ReutersTV. I'm Lisa Bernhard. This is Reuters.